Hey, welcome to Northumberland Zoo on YouTube. My name is Maxine and I work here. Now in last week's video there was a little sneak peek of our otter enclosure refurbishment that we were working on during January. And in a minute I'm going to be meeting up with Hannah and Lucy who are going to be showing us the first stage of the project, which was doing the indoor house. So here we go.
Hello.
Oh, we've got some...
Here's the otters. There they are.
So do you guys want to describe the reasoning behind what you did?
So in here before we just had like 2 nest boxes. They were quite restrictive really. You couldn't see the otters in there particularly well, so it made managing them quite difficult. So we just thought it would be better to do a bit of a redesign. First thing you'll notice is that it's all one interconnecting system. So we've got a nest box over here, and this has access to the main paddock and to the extension as well, which is where we put them if we're doing work on the main enclosure. This leads through into this, we call this the crush tunnel, even though it's not actually a crush tunnel. This is where we're going to do the training with the otters, so they'll get tongue fed in there, and we're going to build a transport crate which will fit inside there, so that if we need to ever move them or take them to the vet or anything like that, we'll be able to do it without having to catch them up, which would be really stressful. They'll just be used to going through there. Then at the back we've got a sort of little corridor for them to go through between these 2 main big bedrooms, and as you can see, because it's winter, we're able to just sort of close off a couple of the slides, and then they can have a nice big bed without a draft running through it. So yeah, that's where they are at the minute. We've got mesh lids on all of the tops, so this is really helpful for the keepers because it means that they can see where the otters are all the time, especially when they're operating the hatches, which is really important for safety obviously, and to make sure that they're in when they need to be in. And then we have lids on them as well. So one thing we wanted to do was try to improve like the insulation in here, make it a little bit warmer for them as well. Underneath the new housing we've got a floor of alpaca wool, so absolutely luxurious for them there. And there's also insulation in behind all the boxes as well. And then yeah, we just are able to unhook these lids and lie them down, which we do most of the time. They're just open at the moment, so you can sort of see.
And obviously you guys built this all yourself, and you had to do it on quite a time crunch because obviously we haven't got anywhere else to put the otters, so did that make it really challenging?
Yes, so Hannah had done this awesome design, but it was a complete overhaul, and we had to rip out the old holts to put new holts in. So it had to all be done in a day because we couldn't keep the otters shut out overnight, because it's during the winter as well, so it's a bit chilly. Luckily we have an extra paddock, so we could shut the otters in there while we were doing the work. But we decided to build the Holt system like IKEA style. We made it flat pack, so we built it in our workshop. We tested it all, didn't we? Made sure everything worked perfectly and that it all fit together. Then we took it all apart again, we brought it down here, and then within a space of a day we ripped out all the old Holts. We had to make new holes in the walls because they needed to be a bit bigger, and then we installed the new Holts, and it was pretty back-breaking work, but we got it done, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got it done before it went dark. So.
Come on, otters, be brave.
Good job. So it's day 2 of the Otter renovation project, where the keepers have been installing like a little waterfall / stream thing in there. So they got the framing and everything done ready for the mock rock, because they're going to build like a rocky waterfall in there. And what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the otters' favorite log thing. It's not really a favorite log, but it kind of gave them a bit of a dodgy viewpoint to the keeper kitchen, and they used to sit there and beg all the time, so it was promoting bad behaviors. So we're actually going to lift this log out of the way and move it to a different part of the enclosure, and we're just joining them now. Go in. How is
So-
your otter project going, Ryan?
It's going well, making good progress. It's just a shame that it's freezing, so we can't do any mock rocking, but it's given us time to plan out how we want it. Thank you. And yeah, it's coming along nicely. So the main plan really was to get the flowing water, the running water, because otters really like running water, like playing in it, splashing around in it, and it's good to put their food into. So that was one of the big things, and then getting some more plants in as well. So we're going to get a few more grasses, some swamp grasses, marsh grasses, and then some reeds as well. And then there's the nice little themed beach on the side too, which is kind of going to be for them to jump in off the pier. Then there's going to be some fishing rods as well, which we can use for enrichment. A little like fish line as well, where we can hang food on, like a little zip line for them. So the plan is just to give them more opportunities to climb, dig, forage, swim, bit of everything. HMS boat is going on the beach. It hasn't got a name yet. It will have a name at some point, but we need to just kind of do a couple repairs to make it otter proof, and then it's going to be on the beach with all the other bits. Unfortunately not in the water, because it'll probably just sink.
Well, I'm quite excited to have a little tour of the paddock. So do you guys want to show me some of the features? You got them locked in, have you?
Yeah, the otters are all shut in now. We actually don't work in with them. You can work in with them, like they're not too dangerous, but they're actually really annoying because they constantly try and bite your ankles, and they're just into everything that you're doing. So we tend to shut them in, and then we can go in the paddock in peace.
So first of all, the first thing that I noticed is that there's a new noise, and I'm not talking about the parrots. So what's going on here then?
Yes, there's a little bit of a hum in the background, which is actually the pump, because we've installed a new water feature. For those of you that have seen our otter enclosure before, we've always had the pond in the middle, but it never had any kind of movement or feature to it. But now it has a waterfall. So there's a little bit of a hum in the background, that's just the noise of the pump.
There's a lot more kind of interesting features in the paddock now for the otters and also for the visitors as well. So obviously it's always been a nice big space with the feature pond. We've had different logs and things like that and different substrate piles for them in the past, but this was sort of the opportunity to do a lot more. It's great for them to have running water. Obviously that's a really natural feature for them, and they were very quickly seeing kind of paddling in the little pools and things like that. The pier there with the fishing gear at the back, the boat as well. Lots of additional planting. The otters have gone to town on the planting. And they were just thinking, oh, this is fantastic nesting material, pulling it all up, taking it in, which again is a brilliant natural behaviour for otters, but we would rather they use what we provided for them instead of pulling up the plants in the paddock. But we're going to do a lot more planting in here, probably kind of springtime.
Awesome. And then obviously we've used our amazing mock rock skills, haven't we, Luce?
Yeah, getting good at this now. I reckon we should start our own business, a little side hustle. Yeah, I think pretty much every single keeper and volunteer had a bit of a hand in this, because it was a huge job. It took us 4 days, didn't it, to scratch coat and then theme coat it all, because there is a lot of concrete here. But we decided this time to use a dye rather than paint, only because it's got water running over it, and like otters are quite naughty, like scrabbling around at things, and we thought using dye would be more hard wearing. So we also used real rocks as little features, and it actually made it a lot quicker. Rather than trying to create our own rock effect, we were able to just slap it on and put the real rocks in, and we were able to get it done much quicker.
the reason why you wanted to get it done so quick is because obviously you had the otters locked in. So the last
Exactly.
thing we want to do is mess about doing carving and making it pretty when we've got otters that need access.
Yeah.
So it does the job. And what you don't want to do is make this huge, beautiful, like carved out feature and take away from what else is going on in the paddock.
Yeah.
Tell me about the boat. Where did that come from?
So a really nice guy down at Amble Boat Club. I got in touch with him and I said, I don't suppose you've got any old boats lying around, something that potentially looks Indonesian. Obviously they didn't have that, but he did say, yeah, we've got a small boat that was in the yard, and he was so kind, he even dropped it off at the zoo for us, and Ryan and the keepers did a little bit of work on it to make it otter proof, and now it's in the enclosure.
Oh, these plants have done a little bit better. They've hit that one less.
Yeah,
It's further away.
Yeah, because they're near the hole, aren't they?
They're just going to take the ones that are nearer because they're animals, so they conserve energy wherever possible.
So here's the boat. It needed a new floor because the wood was quite rotten, and the keepers have made new sides for it as well. But what they've done, which wasn't usually there when it was a boat, is they've made a little hole inside and they can go into this cavity. That's another little like shelter for them. And look at this, they've even got oars. So they could row their little heart's content across the pond as well if they wanted to.
And the keepers took it very seriously. I think we had Kaz get in the boat and work out where the oars should sit. So yeah.
I mean, those kind of give it away a bit, really.
No, but how far down?
Oh,
Because
I
I think
see.
initially they were like much further out. So it was like, well, no one can reach them there. So
Ah,
And
okay.
then we created the beach, so that's been all dug out, which annoyingly we decided to do on a day where it was freezing cold and it was snowing.
yeah.
So that was quite hard work digging that out. And then it's got a membrane down just so that the grass doesn't grow over it and it stays like a beach forever. Ryan did a really rough sketch of this and he drew all kinds of features on there, and I think he would be the first to admit he's probably not the most artistic person. He drew all these features on the plan and then they've actually come to life. We've made them all, so I think he's quite pleased with it.
So there we have it. I don't know if you've been to the zoo already in the last couple of weeks while we've been open and seen our new otter enclosure, but it does look really smart. But we're going to head off the paddock now and let them back out again. I hope you enjoyed that little overview. We have actually got otter encounters on our website now, so you can actually come down and come into the enclosure, obviously while we lock them away safely, hide some food, and then watch as we release the beasts into the enclosure. So you can go onto our website and you can buy the otter encounters now. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed that update, and if you haven't done already, please remember to like this video and subscribe to the Northumberland Zoo YouTube channel. See you next week.